I've tested thousands of Facebook ads over the last 6 months, and here are the ones actually making some money. I'll show you through various accounts in different industries such as e-commerce, info product, coaching, and local businesses throughout this video and show you the ads that spent the most and got the best cost per action in the last 2 quarters. Now, if you're new to the channel, you don't yet know who I am. My name is Justin Lalonde, and I'm the founder at paidadvertising.com, where we spend profitably over $20 million on Facebook ads alone every single year for our clients. And let's get straight into today's video. So this first ad account that I got opened up in front of me is actually going to be an info/coaching business. This one right now, I've filtered over the last couple of months. This is 2 campaigns that we've had running since not too long ago. So last edit I see on those was November 12th. So it's 2 days ago. But I know that these ads have been live for give or take about 3 to 4 weeks right here. So that said, this first ad spent about $20,000, give or take, in the last month or so. So pretty much most, if not all, of the ad spend on this ad account. And it has gotten us a cost per website schedule. So in other words, a cost per booked appointment of about $197 here for this one ad. So let's see what it looks like. So this ad is a video ad again for an info product business. Now, if I play it right here, I'll kind of show you what this looks like. So this is your typical quote unquote flex style of ad with a Bugatti in the background right now. Our client right here just kind of going through the script that we've sent him, talking about, starting to invest in this Section 8 real estate investing, what it looks like to get into the Section 8 overall, what the program is about, and then basically kind of offering a CTA right here. So this is what I would say a founder-led talking head video. So this is usually what we do a lot for info product or coaching businesses, which are backed by a personal brand using the founder, in the ad. And not only that, the style of ad works well, I would say, for any stage 5 sophistication markets, any B2C beginner friendly markets, or any markets based on more of a personification, if you want, of the product. So this could work as well as for an e-com fashion brand, and I'll explain myself. So if I kind of start back right here like this, beyond the script, okay, what you'd be able to see is in the background, you see the Bugatti, and then you also see a Rolls Royce right here, okay, and then you see of course the Californian, trees and whatnot. And so that said, you also see the Rolex, Daytona, I believe, on his wrist. It's a lot of that comes down to lifestyle selling, which is why I say for an info product or coaching business, this is great when it comes to selling to beginners, right? If you're going to sell a biz op, so a business opportunity, getting someone into a new space, then flexing is, of course, one of the quote unquote easiest ways to get these people into the space. Second thing, if you're going to go with lifestyle selling or more personifying a brand, say in a fashion setting. So I hear a lot of fashion brands sometimes saying, well, Justin, how can marketing fundamentals apply to me? How can marketing fundamentals affect my business and my ads and my marketing? That could be a way, because most fashion brands are in a very sophisticated market, closer to a stage 5 market in most of the time. So they have to use what's called identification to sell to a user. So say this guy right here was selling, I don't know, a quarter zip as an example, right? What he's wearing right here. Well, if he's trying to sell that to an aspirational sort of young bro who wants to, either get into business or something like that, right? This would be perfect. Again, this is aspirational selling for a fashion brand. So it could work as well in that. So kind of talking head, founder-led video in an aspirational setting. Great videos for B2C sort of biz op offers. Great videos for anybody in a stage 5 market / a fashion brand who wants to personify the product. So you might have noticed, I'm going to wrap this up with this here. If you ever make ads in the make money space, we always put a little disclaimer on the ad right here, just to make sure, again, that we're clear of any sort of guarantees and income claims and whatnot. So moving on right now to the second ad account right here. This is actually one of our local business ad accounts. This is where we run ads for a couple of our local business clients, for a pod of our local business clients for one of the offers that we have here at the agency. One of those ads is actually for mortgage brokers. It absolutely crushed. In fact, here, and here are 3 instances of this exact same ad creative. Given how we work with other clients, in like the same niche or industry in this offer. We'll like reuse creatives across the clients that we know, these ads are crushing it for. This ad right here has, as you can see, spent a significant amount of money compared to other creatives on the account. So instance 1, 2.3K, instance 2, 2K, instance 3, $500. And this is like, again, I always put it to maximum, but I know that these campaigns have been launched within the last 3 to 6 months at the absolute max. These campaigns specifically date back to September right here. So those are static ads, very healthy cost per lead of about $12 to $14 Canadian in this case. So this account is in CAD, not in USD, like the other account I showed you. And so to show you what this creative looks like, let me open it up. So here you go. That's the ad creative right here. You can see, for whatever reason, I can see like the CTA on the right. Maybe this is an enhancement from Meta right here, but actually you would be able to see, if you kind of show you the preview right here, it gets cropped like that on feed. So kind of going back right here, we'll usually edit a creative in a 9:16 format, and it gets cropped automatically on feed placements like a 4:5 nowadays. So that being said, the creative looks like that. I'll translate that because this is in French. Do you want to clear your debts? Do you have a house? Find out or discover how much you can have. And then it's like a bunch of different amounts right here. And it's like calculate your payment right here. So in other words, what we're telling them is like, hey, do you want to unlock equity from your home? It's like kind of the offer that we have on here. So it's very sort of like equity based, and it's kind of telling people, we know that like the financial landscape is getting a little shaky at times right now in Quebec. So this client specifically, this ad creative, it's like tapping into the fact that some people might have money they don't even know they currently have. So that's like the overall offer we have. So this is like the format of this ad. And I think this is what I want people to mainly look at through this video. It's like ad formats and like how can you reuse those? This is almost like a trivia. Okay. So this is like almost like one of those TV shows, where you like have to pick one of the suitcases and you're like hoping there's money behind it. It's kind of like the same thing right here. It's like, hey, you've got debts, right? You have a house here, find out exactly how much you can get. So it's really trivia based, okay? So this could also work well for an e-com brand, sending ads as an example to a quiz funnel, right? So you could talk about like, hey, pain point, you've got, X, then find out, how fast you could fix your skin issues. Find out how fast you can fix your bloated gut. And then it's like 2 days, 7 days, 1 to 3 weeks. There's various ways that you can reuse this format as an example for other brands. So that's kind of the main thing I want you to look at through this video. So again, very solid winner right here that we've had for this local business ad account. Now, moving on to ad account number 3 right here. This is an e-com brand ad account. This is from August to like November as of right now, which is pretty much the time in which like we've been working with this client roughly. From top ad spent $14,000, but I also want to look at the cost per result right here. I'll always look at it at like a mix between ad spend and like my cost per result to see like which were actually like top ads. I'd say like this ad right here is to me a little more of a top ad as an example, because like it has yes, it spent like a third pretty much of this ad, but it does have a much healthier CPA overall. I could have also went into ads with like the lowest CPA of the account. Like I'll show you another pretty healthy one, this one right here. So, I could show you a couple ads, in fact, of this account. If I open this one up as an example right here as a dedicated Facebook post, you're going to see when it loads in a second, it's a static ad. Boom, perfect. Static ad right here, very aware ad right here, specifically about reviews. So super product aware ad. What do you do when you have a product aware audience? You just want to increase proof, right? These people know they have a problem. They know of ways to fix the problem. They just don't yet know whether or not you're the right person to help them fix that problem. So in other words, you're going to have to convince them that you are the right man or business or brand, for the job. So here, like reviews are usually great for this type of product. This is a migraine type of product specifically. So in this case, I think the overarching objective is to get, this audience is probably very aware, like painfully aware of the migraines they have. And usually those are the type of people who've like tried everything and nothing really works. So we're dealing with a very aware audience, usually when it comes to wanting to eradicate migraines. So hence why this creative probably performed well. But it's kind of the same reason as to say ad 3 right here. If I open it up and show you what this looked like, and then I'll show you ad 1 right here as an ad to see. So ad 1, ad 3, honestly, very similar in nature. So if I'm going to play those to you right here, so I'm going to kind of go up 30 days, no migraines right here. Then it's like, I'm not even kidding. This has never, happened to me. Before, I was honestly skeptical because I've, tried everything. And then, for the first time in years, I felt like myself again. So we're talking about someone who's mainly solution aware. For the most part, I've got this constant fear in the back of my mind, and the migraines, are about to pop back in. Here's the product name. It's actually a classified medical food. So it's not just a supplement. Here's what it is. Blah, blah, blah. So we're dealing with like a much more like solution aware ad in this case. I also like the persona right here. Okay. If you're like, this is kind of this like hippie, if you want, type of persona. And again, like I'm saying this more by, the type of tapestry you see here, the type of, environment, the frames in the background, you gotta get this vibe that this is the type of holistic health type of person who's like willing to try everything. So like this is, I think, a perfect call out of at least part of our ICP out there. And, our ad headline right here is like loved by women in the USA. So there's a direct match between, this is a woman, we're targeting a woman. This is more of a like natural holistic health type of woman. And so it kind of really goes into that said persona. And again, I like have said it for the prior ad I showed you. Our persona is usually very like painfully aware of their migraines and therefore want to eradicate it ASAP. Very quickly, the other ad we have is somewhat in a similar fashion. This is like still a UGC ad right here, kind of talking about, product and what it does. It's a little more, you could say like, yeah, it's relatively aware ad overall, like probably still again product aware because it's mainly more of a demo and what it does and like why it works and why it's different than other products out there. So I give it a mix between a solution / product aware ad in this case. But nonetheless, for the lesson here is for any audience, which according to your market research, they're very painfully aware of their problem and like very acutely trying to fix it, right? This is probably going to be a very solution to product aware audience. So hence why we focus most of our ad efforts into said segment of the market. Now, moving on to the next ad account here, I have more of a B2C SaaS company right here. So I've checked from July to November. I filtered by amount spent right here. So you can see some of those ads and their ad spend and the current cost per result, which is essentially somebody who's actually started to like purchase on the app. Our goal is to get us closer to like 100 euros CPA on this account. Honestly, like historically, this account has been closer to like a 140, 150 euro CPA blended average. But nonetheless, like looking into some of our best ads right here, is like I think 1 or 2 I wanted to show you. Of course, there's like the top performer. This account, it's actually funny. It's a very simple insight. It has 2 markets, UK, US, that it's like targeting for the most part. And we kind of noticed before that a lot of the ads for UK and US market were pretty much the same. And what we ended up doing is we ended up doing like location specific UGC. And this one is actually like, again, you'll see like how simple this is. A British creator with a British accent. We know again that our audience is primarily women. We know that our audience is very like problem aware for the most part. So like basically this is an ad for psychics. So it's like, hey, here's whatever problem you're having in your life. And here's like why a psychic might be able to help you out. So that said, we're kind of calling out different problems of our ICP and then bringing them to understand it. Hey, maybe a psychic can help you out. So that said, looking into this ad specifically right here, I'd say why it worked. I mean, this is here a British creator with a British accent shown to a British female audience. So there's a direct resonance with the ICP. It might sound super simple, but again, you'd be surprised by how many people take like a US accent creator, put them in front of a British audience. It doesn't like resonate the same, okay? So there's that right here. And then this one is kind of talking about, again, somebody who's like somewhat problem aware and then how they discovered, the app. And it's funny because it's an app, but it's a very like, it's just, you can see like through the whole video, we never even show the app. It's literally just more like talking about the story of like the problem that this woman has faced and how being open to talking to a psychic has helped her out, okay? The second type I want to show you, it's not necessarily one of the top ads, but I still think it's interesting. This ad, I showed it once on the channel about a year ago. It still works amazingly well. It's one of those like Facebook like formats, that looks like native to the platform, right? So something like this here, it's like, okay, so I've got to share this. My psychic on, X client name literally predicted everything. My man and I are getting married in 2 months and she saw it coming. The cards don't lie. So very native format, for something like that. And I think this is a good one to try no matter the business type that you have. Just this little character bottom left, if you're going to generate that, which you can either natively on Facebook by like putting it, with an avatar, or nowadays we've even used like Nano Banana to like generate like an image like this in the background with our editors. Just make sure that this little character looks like the audience that you're targeting. So little pro tip right here. Last but not least, this is also a creative type I showed on the channel not too long ago. This is a very new client. We just started running ads like a week or 2 ago, but it's kind of funny how like top ad in terms of getting most ad spend and the lowest cost per lead on the account is, and I'm going to pull it up right here. This is for a BizOp offer once again, but anything that is in a sophisticated market, okay? using very natural styles of ad like this one. This looks like an IG story. We literally made it purposely look like an IG story. There's nothing more happening in the background than somebody counting some money. So it's basically B-roll in the background. There's like no sound. This is just like a POV, right here with some text. Looks legit like an IG story, and that is on purpose. So ugly ads, and I made a whole video on the channel about that. I think I'd like to say maybe 2 weeks ago when it came down to it. So if I show you ugly ad right here, it's this one. I made a Facebook ad look worse, and ROAS went from 1.2x to 3.4x. Check it out to help you make some more ugly ads like this one. This basically, the lesson of that video is the more native the style, usually the better it performs for a sophisticated market, which is why something like that performs, which is why something like this also performs, which you wouldn't say like, oh, wow, the designer did an amazing job at making this look, out of the ordinary. No, like this looks very ordinary, and that's the whole purpose. So check out this video to learn more about how to create some ads that look quote unquote worse, but do perform better. And that said, if you want to work one-on-one with me and my team to have us review your ads, give you pro tips on like what to do next, what creatives to test, how to rework your offer, landing page, name it, check out the link in the description below to join my Ad Engine Inner Circle today. And there's also going to be a link below for you to simply book in a call and work with our agency if you want us to do all of this completely done for you. So I'll wish you an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.